mimosas at the girls at brunch. You know,
yeah,
playing your ass off. Then don't come into a
yeah,
podcast on the internet and talk
exactly.
shit about your husband and your
About
family.
your famous husband who
Yeah,
got you rich, and you're upset because you're not the one who was the breadwinner or all this other kind of stuff. But it's like, okay, but you still won.
yeah.
A lot of people would kill to be in your position.
Mm-hmm.
And for being honest, they're waiting for you to fuck up further. So that when y'all break up, they can step in
Be
and
step
help
up.
build that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just sit pretty on the sidelines or
Yep,
whatever. But,
exactly.
I mean, and it's not even saying that you need to do that. You can
Yeah,
do and be whatever you want. But that doesn't mean including going onto somebody else's show or platform and starting to trash what you don't
a decision that you made too. A
have.
decision that you made because as much as you didn't want those things, if you said you didn't want all this stuff, you still chose to go for it. So
Right.
yeah, so while I'm gonna put her, put some emphasis on her with this, you chose that. He also probably made a poor decision for where his life was going.
True.
Like
True.
that's probably not the best person who you should have had on your arm if this is what you're looking at doing with your life, bro.
Hmm.
Like, so let's get into some of this
For
uh,
sure.
the evidence of what's
Exhibit
going.
A.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exhibit A, exactly.
Perfect example of why it is so important to have a whole phase.
Oh.
Go be a hoe. Be a hoe. But be a safe hoe though. Like protect yourself and don't get pregnant. That's why she's sitting over there feeling trapped. Trapped with Steph Curry. Sometimes you gotta go through some stuff to really appreciate what you have. She probably ain't never been hoed. She probably ain't never been drugged through the mud by a dude. She probably never been.
She didn't have her future.
It's hard
Yeah,
for
she
me
ne-
to agree with that
it
as
is.
far as
It's
like,
real hard. It's real hard to agree
girl,
with
you need to be drugged through the mud and
that.
abused in some way to appreciate what you could have. No, it just means be grateful for what you were able to get without having to go through that. Like if you're getting off light, you didn't have to go through a whole phase. I only agree that people should play the field. They need to understand who's out there before you make a permanent decision with a high school sweetheart or something like that. But that doesn't mean be a hoe necessarily.
Yeah, I think now it. Before I would have been like, man, you don't really want a woman with experience. Now it's almost like so, between social media and these different things like that. Yeah, for some people it may be mandatory. We'll get into that here in a little bit, but let's
Hmm.
check out a little bit what she was actually saying on this podcast so we can get some
For sure.
context to it. We
Yeah.
don't want to just have our opinions. This is let's give some actual
Yeah.
context to what she's
Let her dig her own grave. Go ahead.
saying.
And I'll provide my
And shout out to
commentary.
MTR man
I
for this
didn't
review.
want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals and I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life.
Did you talk to Steph about it?
He tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of like, it's effing stupid. Like,
Yeah.
it's not true. So why?
Told the
And I'm
truth.
like, but wait, like, listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real. After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughter so quickly. I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something and then it kind of just disappeared and I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1, I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself. Like this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too. And I need to get my shit together and figure out what that looks like for myself now.
If I have a career and I'm
Yeah.
not home, like did you experience that?
I still experience
Okay.
that. I still experience that. I'm always in therapy talking about this. If you lose all of those things that were interesting about you, even for yourself, like even the things that made me feel confident and cool, then what are you doing? I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I said to see someone get up there and really put on their platform some of this stuff is wild to me.
Mhm.
Did you watch the entire interview? So I started watching the I don't know about Evan, but I started watching the interview on Call Her Daddy, and they got into some different topics. It wasn't just straight this. These are
Yeah.
just some kind of key takeaways. So it was some things that we really wanted to focus on because it falls in line with some of the other stuff she said in other shows.
Yeah.
From like Red Table Talk to she was on a podcast. I forgot what it was, with another one where she was talking about how Steph had groupies and how she doesn't have any, and how it made her feel, and how that she wasn't getting any male attention or validation at all, that her DMs were so dry. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you're a married woman with kids. It's like, why do you want full DMs?
Right.
Why do you want a moist why do you want moist DMs? what's
Gross.
going what's
Right.
going on with that?
The one thing that she did say that I've heard other people say it before, men and women,
Yeah.
was that she mourned the life that she didn't have because life took a turn. Now, a lot of people would say that it turned for the better. Okay, now you don't have to work. Now you can just be a mom and a wife, and that's great. And it's not to say just. Okay,
Yeah.
don't. It's not like that. I'm just saying that you now have what people would consider an easier route because your husband is now an NBA star. But there's a lot of people whose life they become pregnant or they get married and things go left. So
Yeah.
they're like, wow, but this career I could have had, the freedom that I had, whatever that it is for you individually, if that happens, and you're like, oh, well, what could I have done if I had done something differently? That's normal. But it's not normal to continue to have interviews about this and be very open about the fact that you're not happy with your current life.
Yeah.
Like where other people are like, no, you got it easy, and you're allowed to feel that way. But what you're not allowed to do is make a fool of your partner on TV and the internet.
Well, you're damaged, and appreciate it, Christine. The
Thank
comment,
you.
definitely keep commenting. If you have any more, did you watch the full interview? What was your takeaway with it?
Mhm.
The biggest thing, man, is like, yes, have your opinion, but it's the same thing when I see like rappers or something like that, somebody, or a movie star get on and they talk about, something real negative in their history, or something, real jacked up that, or rappers get on and talk about some crimes they did. It's like, dude, you
Yeah.
are jacking up your brand.
Yeah.
It's that you are a brand, you are jacking that up. And that's them doing it to themselves. But to be married to somebody that is who's getting on there and doing the same thing,
Mhm.
that you're out here trying to build this brand, and in the background I'm trying to build on Monday, and on Tuesday you go in a pocket and try and tear down everything I just built.
Right.
It's like we got this family, we present ourselves in a certain way, very kind of and not saying don't be real, but there's she didn't have to say it the way she said those things. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's my biggest thing. It's like, you saying that you didn't want to have kids, you never wanted to be married, is such a negative spin on it, versus somebody getting on there and being like, this wasn't what I originally planned. I didn't see my life going this way. It's like, then
Right.
I met Steph, and we fell in love, and da da da, and then we had kids, and
It doesn't sound
now
like
I have
he
these
fell in
friends.
love.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't think she fell.
well,
He fell
yeah,
in love.
exactly. But
Yeah.
there's a different way you could spin that. It's like, and especially you want to be an actress. You are doing a terrible job of fucking acting on these
Right.
podcasts.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah, you
because
could
you're
at least
not
act
acting,
happy.
because you're not acting like a co-pilot or a teammate, as a
Yeah.
lot of people would say. You're not really acting like a good teammate right now, because you are ruining the brand that you were. This is you guys' brand. Your life, not just his, but your family and all these other things like that.
Yeah.
You are fumbling the bag right
Right.
now.
Yeah.
And any
And
opportunities that would have came your way for acting and do these different things like that, why would somebody want to hire you when they watch how bad you badmouth your husband
right.
and your family and your situation? Why would I want to bring you and give you an opportunity based off that? You're much more likely, if you are that person out promoting that brand, out being that flag carrier for the person that you're with, you're much
Mhm.
more likely to get what you want doing that situation than you are bad mouthing it.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? Whether you agree with her or not, this exposes four very important pressure points
Yeah.
to and because we are an honorable masculinity podcast, we do want to talk about it from Steph's point of view, from our
Yeah.
point of view. So any man who is watching this as a case study for just something to learn from, the things that are most important in selection of a mate is partner. I'm sorry, as far as like your future is partner selection, mission alignment, brand risk, because you're a brand whether you want to be or not. You don't have to be a social media influencer to be a brand. If you go to your job and people actually rely on you for anything, that's brand. And child protection. How are the children going to be? How are they going to remember you? How are they going to be living? When they're 5, 10 years old and together, and what's that like? You know what I mean? So let's hop into the first one, that partner selection, and how a man should kind of vet his woman. Is it like values over vibes? If she's cool, that's great. If she's a good person to be like hanging around, and you got really good vibes from her as far as personality, that's cool. But what are her values? That's all very surface level. She looks good. You met her in the club. Oh, I think I met my wife. Did you? I don't think you did, because you don't know anything about her values.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's one of those things. A lot of times we as men, and that's where we're coming from. Like I said, we talked a little bit about Ayesha and her stuff and our beef with that. But my beef is my beef, honestly. And people are like, "Who the hell are you?" It's like, I'm nobody. I'm just a guy screaming on the internet. But my critique would be more with Steph, because he chose to be. He made the choice.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's like, as they say, women control sex, men control marriage. It's like, women dictate when you get the nana, men dictate when you get the ring.
Right.
So this was a choice that he decided to make in his life. And like you said, is that vibe versus values thing. It's like, I just don't know. And this would probably be one of those conversations that people, I'm sure, hopefully people in his circle are having with him. Like, bro, what made you decide her?
Yeah.
It's like, what, did you guys actually have this conversation about, that seems like a real basic conversation. Like, what do you want out of your life? What do you, where do you see yourself? What do you see for your future? Where do you want to be in 10 years? It's like, I'm pretty sure even as young guys, we need to be having those conversations. And we, to give some grace, they were young, super young. When their relationship
22.
started.
No shit.
So they were dating before he got made to the NBA. It's like, so so I don't know how long they were dating before then, but they were dating prior to that.
Right.
Because she said she didn't even know he was going to go in the NBA. She thought he would be a basketball coach, or like college basketball coach or something like that, which to me sounds just like another dig. But anyway, but you got to make sure that your missions line up. It's like, because the fact that she thought you were going to be like a basketball coach is like, okay, did she think that what you were telling her? Was this the conversation like, hey, I'm gonna try and get into the NBA, but if I don't make it, this is the route I'm gonna take?
Yeah.
Or is it like, no, this like a Kobe thing, like, no, I'm making it. This is my route. This is where I'm going. And you just never had that conversation with her. What's going on? Because if she doesn't know where you're going either, that's really gonna handicap you, man, at the end of the day. Because how do you know that this is somebody you want to have on your mission with you? Because if I'm heading west and you're heading east, why would I have you jump in my car with me?
Right. And if you're not clearly telling them that,
you're going to be complaining the whole time that you're getting
Right.
farther and farther away from your destination.